Okay, we're rolling once again. So I just completed a live on this Facebook live feed just about the shadow self, and just to share with you as I was completing that, we're sitting on a balcony here in Split, Croatia, and a beautiful, huge meteorite come down to end it right at the time. So beautiful, divine uh, symbol that Femke saw. So it's great. And hello, everyone. And so much is going on very rapidly with this ascension, and also the divine energetic work that Femke and I are doing. And it's just, let me say, extensive. So what Fem and I are doing is physical, energetic, divine work on the ground in Croatia for very important reasons. Also, keeping into contact with others that I assist sometimes through messages on Facebook. And of course, the whole ascension and the global arena and what's going on with that. So, totally, you can say, and it is the truth, that divinely, Fem and I find ourselves working 24/7, but it's all good. Now, uh, the first thing I would like to say is that with this entire ascension and the rapture, if you will, the upliftment of humanity into the higher consciousness, uh, humanity is not alone. And we do have ships here in the skies. Many of you can see them with your visible eyes, have had at least limited interaction, and some a little bit more than that. These are all benevolent ships. We also have the higher divine realms, and of course, Prime Creator here at this time with everything what is going on with the planet. And we also have all of you as a divine team, and are coming more into your divine prowess and the overall liftment. So, just to share that you by no means are alone. And there are times you merely need to look up in the sky or just connect with Prime Creator or uh, your other divine comrades to know that this is so. Meaning that we're not alone here to transition humanity, and also meaning that governments and darkness and all of this again, it they we are the omnipotent divine ones that's here to transition humanity. So it matters not what what governments or the remnants of darkness or the elites do. They actually lost in 2012, and we are going through this transition to give the power back to the people and take it away from the darkness. So we're going here to 5D and taking the people with us. And during the course of that, the darkness and the governments, they do not go the way they are. There's politicians now, some, very few, uh, around the world within governments are, for the light, but for the most part, the way governments were, the entire societal structure of humanity is being torn down. It's actually imploding. It no longer serves progression for humanity and advancement, and the enslavement and the control by the money upon the people is being eradicated very rapidly. And it's a transitional process. However, we at this point in time so rapidly come so far. And energetically, and also through the experience in confirming it, you will see If you're to do a search online, if this is the first time that you're looking at what I speak of or others, you can begin to confirm it that it's actually documented and confirmed out there. Uh, the emergence of the people and the people's law, which is above any of the governments and that enslavement and suppression. So it's actually happening. Many humanoids, I will say humanoids, because we are in a human body, but we're no longer human and limited by the human lower consciousness beliefs. We are well equipped with the higher consciousness intelligence to take humanity out of the place of enslavement and the ridiculous lower density. So you will find many groups, they are growing, they are emerging, groups that support the people. The framework is in place for what I wish to call a free monetary system, unhinged of any debt, interest rates, loans, all of that is irrelevant to where we're going. The new monetary system is an open ended vehicle to rapidly transition humanity forward and out of enslavement. And as you know, with 99% of the people, and you have, let's say, 1% or even less of the governments and the elites that used to control things. So what you're seeing now is the power of the people's coming back, and even from human logic, it's common sense when you look at the people as being the majority and the people no longer supporting um, the control of money that has created poverty, sickness, and lack for so many. That is simply inhumane, and you don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. You really don't even need common sense. So, what you're having is the majority of the people is is putting competency into this now and eradicating the incompetency and the ill intent by the government, the rich ones that were from the old world, the bankers, what have you. So, very rapidly, this is occurring. Just check. How are we running? Great. Good. So, this is the overall ascension and the energetic update. It's happening very rapidly. There's so much, that I could say. But again, I got a bunch of points wrote down. And before I go forward, is that the ascension, the transition of humanity to an advanced civilization is in full swing. You are amidst of it. And let's just say humanity is not alone. We have many universal life forms. Some may call them ETs, what have you. They are advanced life forms. They are here assisting with the transition of humanity and the planet. And we also have the higher divine realms and, of course, Prime Creator assisting with this. So it is imminent. No government, no uh, disease or what have you stops what's occurring. You could say the disease is part of a separation process. It facilitates that, and it does lend the venue, if you will, for the separation to be more easily accepted by humanity until we transcend the rest of the unawakened humanity into the higher state of consciousness. So it's all happening. During this time, so I'll get back to a little bit of what Femke and I are doing, and I just asked Father earlier about this, and yes, I'm in direct communication with Prime Creator, which is Mother and Father, and it's not my higher self in the way that you may think. It's not. a fantastical friend. It is very real, and uh, there is the prime creator overseeing everything that is occurring here. So, having said that, part of what we've been doing energetically is we have gone ahead about 10 years ago and began to create what we call is the 5D energetic grid. Now, most of that has been constructed and comprised. All of the primary nodules were put in place for the new ley lines of the 5D are not like the old 3D space, the old 3D world. So there's been a lot of work. There's been changes made. The ley lines now are new. There's very rarely will you find a nodule, an energetic nodule, where the ley lines intersect with the 5D grid still being in operation. In fact, I think there's perhaps only three of the past energetic nodules where the ley lines intersect that are powered up. We had to shift um, and construct a whole new 5D grid to facilitate a 5D space for humanity. So, having to do that, we did not go by the old many of the old primary and secondary and tertiary nodules. We had to construct a whole new grid. However, without going too deep into that, what I've been given by Father, our extensive work we have been doing here in Croatia. For any of you familiar with the the chakras of Gaia, for example, the throat, the heart chakra, the solar plexus, that are geographical locations of the past. Uh, what we would be doing in 5D and what's already occurring is that these chakras will be relocated energetically. At this time, tentatively, it's not fully ascertained yet what we may be doing here with Croatia. Um, Fem and I have been doing much energetic work the past few weeks since we've been here. Is Croatia may become an area, may become the new heart chakra for 5D Gaia. So we've been doing lots of divine energetic work, um, changing energetic ley lines, adjusting them, and also coming into contact with, let's say, what were subconsciously divine gatekeepers of certain important energetic vortexes and connectors, and of course, along certain ley lines as well that had been placed. See, again, as I say, everyone has been um, it's not by chance where you are at upon the planet at this time geographically. Divinely, that is where you're supposed to be. So many of you, unbeknownst to you, have been placed in very important strategic divine places to serve as energetic conduits, holding the certain space and ley lines. So okay, getting back to energetic update. So very quickly, it's very possible that this may become the heart chakra for 5D Gaia, Croatia. And one of the reasons it's a small country, however, we have so many, in this small country, we have so many, again, that are in their heart and in their divine power. And um, it goes way back in time as well. So they've been placed here for this time to sustain a very powerful um, emission of heart energy in the least, in conjunction with the new heart chakra for Gaia. So just sharing that at this time. And for the other 5D chakras, for Gaia, I have not been given it yet. The divine information usually comes on a need to know basis, and when I'm allowed to divinely share it, I do. So at this time, globally, I'm only given the possibility of the new 5D grid, energetic grid in existence to be in Croatia. And that could change. However, at this time, it's what I'm given. It could be a temporary heart chakra, or it may be permanent for the 5D. I'm not given that. Now, uh, just looking over some notes. So we are anchoring in also the 5D here during the course of it. And I mentioned this, I believe, when we were in Varazdin in Croatia, where we could actually see with the visible eye, the meshing from the 5D was probably only about 20 feet from the ground, and we connected that down in for the other reality. So the energetic grid was visibly seen as a net, and we brought that down and anchored it in that area. And since we've been anchoring it all around. Uh, so currently, you know, what's going on with the election, I'll look a little bit at that later, but the main thing is to know that everything is divinely ascertained, meaning that things will play out how they must, but also the people are being given the power back. So politics and voting in that way very quickly are going to become irrelevant. And you don't vote in this new world on a ballot where you write something. You vote with your support, which is the support of the majority of the people globally. Already, I believe you see things coming out where other countries around the world are not accepting that Biden, they say Biden won, which he did not, as we know. But it does not matter what occurs. Trump is the last president of the U.S. And so no matter what occurs with this. Now, so what's going on globally? Well, all of the restrictions upon the people, the senseless and you can say insane and ridiculous restrictions, it serves a very important divine purpose. It serves the purpose to get the people to stand. People cannot take over a new world and eradicate the darkness with the ascension if they cannot stand in their power and they accept being controlled and given away their consent. So divinely, it's assured that you have a mimic plague or what have you in here to serve that divine purpose. And again, I'll go quickly. Trump, he revealed that ones were paid to say that ones died of COVID, and a big money thing, but also a big scam. But I'm not getting in to all of that now. And what I wish to say, it's a very beneficial thing, what is happening globally to assist the people to stand into their power. And this is why some of the restrictions are so absurd. I think one of the new ones is that if you're a family in your house, you got to wear a mask. Like, I mean, come on. But they're going to get worse. Yeah, you may be only allowed out of your bed 1 hour a day or something, so you don't spread it. It depends on how much it takes to wake the people up, and so it's it is quite hilarious, yes, with it. And but the truth is known, by all of us, and many more every day are waking up to it. So if it takes it to get this absurd, that's what it takes to do it, and it's rapidly happening. Now let's look on the other side of what it's affecting and what is actually happening. You see immense progress in Australia, I love to say that, and many other countries. And what you see is the people being organized. You know, there's a consortium. I wish to refer to that. I think it's called ACU, which has a panel of scientific experts, ones in the lawyers and let's say some from the financial industry. So what you actually see is the framework beginning in that one instance with them for the new reality, the new monetary system, what is being set up to come, you know, very quickly. Jumping back to Uluru on December 22nd, very important. Um, So, what's occurring with Uluru? It's very possible the voice of Creator will be heard globally around the world. That will be the biggest wake up call ever for humanity, and that still can occur. Otherwise, Uluru is a 5D grid power nodule. That is one that remained intact, and it's very important. And there are many, or at least some groups, to my knowledge, which are going there. There will be ceremonies occurring there around 21st of December, 22nd, you know, in that time frame. And many light ones converging towards that area. So a huge event, regardless, will be occurring there on November or December 22nd of this year. Also, if you look back, there's prophecies, I believe, attached to that very time as well, and also Jupiter and Saturn will have converged around that time, making it look like one bright, what humanity thought was stars in the sky. So, a very beautiful, auspicious time with that. Number three, for any of you, I need to mention this. Number three will become prevalent. You will see that. You have been seeing that for uh, at least the last few days. You will begin to see it 333 variations of it. It's very important. We have different pictures of it, different wheres, different places on the water, in the sky, and it's because it's also representative of the divine work being done here, the Trinity, which is actually now a prime creator, the divine feminine mother aspect, and the divine masculine father aspect, which creates the Holy Trinity. And so you will see uh, that number appearing because it does have a divine energetic significance at this time, and it's also a divine stamp. So, good for that, and many, you know, many confirmations of what I do, what Fem and I do, and it's just so much occurring that I don't have time. We don't have time to get it all out. Meaning, you know, look at your earthquakes, look at uh, for your own confirmations, earthquakes, things that are prophesized that I put out. Look at the beautiful pics of the sun, what occurs uh, within the images that comes there. These are some of your confirmations, and perhaps to accreditate or validate what I am saying. However, I don't need to get in there too far. I'm here to, I'm not to garner support. I'm actually here to uplift and inform everyone. And this, whatever support it is, you know, always divine. And having said that, Fem and I don't always work alone. We have um, into other divine individuals and groups, and we do different energetic work here in Croatia. So it's all divine teamwork as well. And yes, it's very real, it's very true, and there's many, what I call many powerful divine energetic ones here in Croatia to assist with this divine work we're doing here. Uh, so, with this energetic update, I mentioned the other day, you'll start to see uh, there are actually explosions within some of the mountainous terrain, which will be registered as earthquakes. As some of the hidden particle accelerators are destroyed. And one of the reasons they need to be destroyed is because they were, like CERN, looking for that smallest particle. But where they're playing with energy, energy cannot be destroyed. It's the polarity changed and shifted. And what they were doing was causing many distortions also in the space time continuum for this dimensional reality. They were doing that in the third dimension and also during the course of when humanity was transported in 2012 to the fourth dimension bit by bit. We had to power down energetically the effects of these particle accelerators, and which it's done for they're interfering with divine creation, and the universal laws were broken. And when I speak about universe, I'm speaking about all that is, and it was not accepted any longer. So, bit by bit, we rectified how they had inadvertently, or I would say intentionally, maybe not intentionally, because they didn't know fully what they were messing with, but we had to correct some effects, what they were doing with reality. And of course, it's connected to time travel and these things, which I don't wish to get into at this point, and maybe I will not in the future, for that is irrelevant because it's been shut down as well for any of the darkness and any of what were considered the malevolent aliens or what have you. So they have been all subdued. Now, one thing I received the other day for to note as we keep going forward, it's important to take note as a sign in some of the cities with the highest skyscrapers, tallest buildings. One of the warnings will be is you'll have tremors where these buildings will not collapse uh, upon the first warning, if you will. However, it is a warning for ones to perhaps get out of the cities, as some quakes may be necessary to bring down some of the city existence for what it was. So, just sharing that, which could occur. I received that the other day. Uh, Now, quickly jumping to Venice last year, because I'm just following my notes here. I just wish to bring up again that when we were doing the work in Europe last October, November, mostly about a year ago, uh, there were four of us that were in Venice. We divinely got called to go there one evening, and we were only there for about a half hour. And during that time, I received that the ones of us there, the four divine ones, that we just had to put our consciousness into divine counsel and make a decision on what would occur with Venice at that time if it would fully go underwater, fully submerged. So the other ones there can tell you and can attest to what I'm saying. Uh, so we just put our consciousness there and went, uh, not knowing at that time consciously what the decision was, and we did not know what it was. until perhaps a week or two later when Venice kind of flooded. It did not fully go underwater, so with that, there wasn't a lot of um, uh, harm created. However, it had to go to make an important statement as well to the darkness. The darkness that was upon the planet, they fully know who I am and what I'm here to do as well. So they pay attention with everything I write and every live I do. And but it's also it doesn't matter. That's why I share everything I do, and but what it does matter a little bit to them, to tell them, it's futile and ridiculous to continue fighting something that's already been won and just to give up. However, they must stay behind. They cannot go forward for what they are. So, really, the only thing they have to do is to fight, but it's senseless to do it. And very quickly, we are raising most of humanity up out of the lower density clutches, if you will, and that's where the darkness is at. If you want to just quickly make a scale between hell and heaven, you could say this is hell here, the fourth dimension. The fifth dimension is actually the lowest echelon of heaven where they don't exist. So you can see why they're so desperate um, to keep ones in humanity in a state of fear, because fear acts like an anchor and it stops one from ascending into the higher realities where the darkness cannot go. And this is the separation process. What's occurring? This is the rapture. This is the ascension. So, so what we have again is as I mentioned, I'm going to light up my cigarette. So again, in lines with this energetic update, many more are becoming informed of the people's law, of the power of the people, the absolute supreme divine law, which is above any of the governments that wrote their laws. It's above any of the judicial systems because it is the law of all that is, that appreciates everyone at an equal level. It's when you get into the government laws and the rulers where you see the controlling aspects, and that is not divine. So any of the judicial systems in the matrix, if you will, or what you see, they are not. Those are not divine. That suppresses the people. For example, the control of money by governments and banks that decides who gets a little bit of money and who gets the most of it. That is not divine, and all of the regulations they have created and laws around it is not divine as well, and it is imploding at this time very rapidly. And on the other end of this, all of the people, as they keep awakening, are becoming more informed and educated on actually what they are and what they actually own, and which is what they own is shared by all. And getting on to this thing of ownership, in actuality, no one owns anything by themselves. It's owned by all. Like even every bit of land upon the earth. It's not owned by anyone. The earth did not sign a purchase agreement, where the British monarch bought the land. It's absolutely absurd, and this means that everyone shares and owns in everything. But not only that, when you look at the airline companies, when you look at the cities, it involved everyone cooperating and participating together to construct this. So even though there might have been a money paid, That's irrelevant when you look at the ownership. For if the people were not here, there would be nothing to own. So, having said that, where the people are here, they are shareholders in all of this planet together. There's no one that is better than anyone else. There is no prime minister, president, queen, or king that owns any more than anyone else. And this is the realization that the people are coming to know that the new monetary system is only a temporary system, but it's to erase and eradicate all of the wealth disparity and the separation, as well as there will be no borders in the future. And this is rapidly what's occurring. And no longer are you having uh, one or a few people dictating what the majority of the planet does. I mean, a general thing, a democracy is, what the majority wants. And 99% of the people, I can guarantee you, wants a life in a free society. And that's what it's going to be. And no government or any rich, wealthy one is going to stop that. For when their money becomes valueless, it's no good to them. So I could go on deeper about that, but this is what's occurring on a general scale. So it's imminent what's coming. It's coming very quick. Put a timeline on it. Well, timeline I'm given that around December 22nd, so much will have transitioned that the power is actually then in the people's hands to begin to globally advance society and at least put them into a form of civility and out of the savage enslavement. So, again, this is all imminent, nothing stops it. So, uh, really, also, when you look at the election, getting back to that, it's irrelevant, really, but it serves divine purposes of, let's say, revealing to the public, the darkness that was out there, the unawakened public, to assist them to rise up as well. So, without getting into politics too much, everything that does transpire is for beneficial reasons. And again, it's to create the whole of handing the power to the people and to transition humanity forward and out of the enslavement, looping monetary systems in society that was created by the darkness long before. And now there's only remnants of darkness here. They have lost all of their power, for the ascension is imminent, and every day another one awakens, which puts more pressure on the darkness, and hence the separation continues of the good people from what was the dark minions, the dark souls. So that's pretty well it. So I've been on here about 38 minutes, what I had written down. So lots occurring, and of course, everyone keep on doing what you're doing. Um, with the energetic, I did see someone say about Glastonbury tour. Yes, that's the Heart Center. Still can be, and also what I can say, it's important to continue. There is some more information. I'm just told not to share it right now on the Gaia chakras. What you perceive or accept now as the certain chakras. There's some information that will, when I'm instructed to divinely put this out, you will receive it then. I'm just told not to go into that right now. And one of the reasons is I'm connected also fully into the collective consciousness. And when I tend to say things, there is a divine plan with it that's I'm held back sometimes from saying something because it changes so many things, and there is a divine plan. So I must use discernment and discipline in what I share sometimes. So that is one of the reasons for it. So cool. This is what's occurring. Quick energetic update. So we're moving to Zadar, Croatia area, I believe, in a day or so, and a little bit of energetic work to do there, and tweaking up energetically some areas, getting all the 5D buttons, if you will, in place, and we're bringing the 5D uh, golden grids. We're bringing them down. They're anchored in, and a lot of our work, what we do is every energy has a color identifying signature, and when we do things, it depends on the type of work we're doing most of the time with Femka and I. With our great love, you see the pink skies, but you also see the pink in the air as well from the love aspect. But also we do the white light and blue ray and all of these. We anchor in. There is the seven energetic rays, which is widely known, but there's actually 13. Some of these could not be seen to the humanoid eye. They're that part of the light spectrum. However, as your eyes transition as well, you'll begin to see more colors, and you begin to see more aspects of the reality grid for some of you if you need to see that in doing some of your divine work without getting too much there into place. And yeah, thank you, Neil, unified. So, and that's what's occurring. All of us are becoming united and growing, and it's happening. You're a formidable force. You're invincible, as I mentioned earlier in the other live. None of you can be taken out. In the past, the very odd light one that left a physical vessel behind, they are granted the ascension. It's the role they had to play. And if you look at the very, very odd whistleblower, divine one in the past that vanished or appeared, they died, they're granted ascension. It had to go that way uh, for their role to show the people the actual resistance that was there, the unawakened ones, and so everyone serves a very important purpose. Molly says diet being highlighted. Um, um, she says she's vegan but feeling ill after certain foods. Any suggestions? Yeah, Molly, with this ascension and with your physical vessel, and on an individual basis, you'll find your diets changing constantly. And also, Uh, it may change forever. For example, when you're ready, you stop eating meat and poultry and you go to the vegetable diet or what have you. But also, you'll find times when you uh, cannot have, let's say, certain fruits, citric acids, and it's important with the acids because the makeup of the humanoid body involves so many acids. But during the ascension, when the body is evolutionizing to a crystal line form, all of your acids in your stomach is changing. And the fullest, highest reality with these physical vessels, you really do not need to eat at all to survive once you have reached such a level with your body. So many changes occurring and with many as well at this time. So your diets, you just pay attention to what foods that you ate that didn't agree with you, don't take them again, and pay attention to your inner guidance and your um, discernment on what you should be eating. Again, for what I teach, because it does come, I say no alcohol whatsoever because of the transition of the organic carbon based body into the crystalline. There are within those complex sugars contained within alcohol. You take at breaking down these sugar um, atomical structures or what have you. It takes a lot of your energy to do that, where your energy within your body can be better applied to advancing it. So the same as with chemicals, you don't want to be eating lots of processed foods, chemical foods, because then your energy is diverted at trying to break down these synthesized chemicals and what have you, where it could have been put forward to crystallining the rest of your body. So by eating chemical foods, to keep it simple, it can keep you stagnant. And so yeah, what I say, no alcohol, no meat, no poultry when you're ready for it, but each one is, there is an individual basis with it. However, this is what I'm told to give and told to teach by Prime Creator, and it's what I put out there. So forever, whoever it resonates with, that's who it's for, and if it doesn't resonate with someone, well, it's just not for them. It's not my my business to discern what's for anyone. I put it out there. You decide for yourself. It's your choice with what resonates. However, I must speak the truth, and I do as well. So great. Any other? No, doesn't look like any other questions. So thank you, and everything's going forward very rapidly, and woo, just keep creating. Uh, the good things. This is important. Be very meticulous with your thoughts, with your words, because remember, you're in a higher co creator mode now than you ever have been. And not only do you create with your conscious thought, you also create with your voice. It's an energy, it has an energetic imprint upon reality. So, some of you need to know in your manifestation abilities exactly, well, not exactly, but you need to know that you're having much more of an impact today than what you had yesterday. So, use your discernment in that. Uh, I see one says, how about fish? What I will say is fish is perfectly okay to eat. I suggest the bottom dwelling species, the pelagics or pelagics, whatever way you wish to pronounce it, are like the tunas and the salmons, the sardines, the mackerels. I suggest refraining from so much eating those, and the reason is because they dwell on the surfaces of the oceans, and the surfaces of the oceans have more of the radiation and toxic chemicals in there. And, for instance, we'll just jump to a scientific study about some salmon going up the Seattle, I think it was Seattle River or San Francisco, wherever, and from all the sewage being dumped out from the city, you're finding within these salmon that are coming from out of the sea, but during their time in the river have these, I guess, pathogens, different chemicals and hormones in them, synthesized ones. So keep away. The northern salmons are pretty good, where you have rivers that have not in the past been polluted so much. So use your discernment with that where your fish are caught from. Having said that, I do, because of Fukushima and that leakage from the reactors, be wise on Pacific pelagics that you eat. Keep that limited, but your bottom dwelling, deep dwelling bottom fish are good. Now, the reason you can eat fish is because they do not have a soul. And animals and birds do have a soul. Anything that's capable of protecting and caring for its young has a soul. And you don't wish to be eating that for the simple reasons that you'd be more like a cannibal eating another soul. But it's because of the DNA that when an animal, it has it in their DNA from their soul, but in the physical vessel, it has the ability for unconditional love, which is an important energetic value where a fish does not. Instead of complicating this, a fish lays its eggs and swims away. So you can see there's not really any compassion there or protecting of the young, where actually with a bird or a mammal, you'll see the mama nurtures and protects the young. So there is a difference with that. Also, with your mammals, with your dolphins and your whales, don't eat any of them. They actually have the unconditional love. They protect their young and they nurture them. So you do not wish to be eating any of the ocean mammals as well. So there you go. So I'll let you go. Love and light, and that's an update. I could talk probably for days and hours, but that's enough. So much love, much gratitude, and woo! We're doing it and we're getting it done, and it's happening very, very quick. So just watch it occur and do your divine work where you're divinely guided to do it. So thank you. And upon closing, we're close to Amish, Croatia, and we went in there to do a little bit of divine work the other day. And to my amazement, there had been someone there that had it empowered to the highest love that actually I just walked into it and enjoyed it. And what I'm given it, it's two masculines and a feminine, and I have not met them here that I know of. But just saying, if you're watching this, hats off to the amazing energetic work you have done there in the little square of Omish. So great. One more question, then. How do you feel about eggs? Eggs, I'm allowed to eat them sometimes, so with eggs, they're a little bit different. So use your discretion. You'll know when you can eat them and when you cannot. But for me, there are periods that I can mostly eat eggs, but it depends what's going on with the physical body. Sometimes I'm told not to. So that's back and forth on the eggs, and that's when you consult your individual discernment. Much love and light, and much gratitude to every one of you, and for all the beautiful work you do as well. So, love and light, gratitude, all kinds of winks, and see you soon. Thank you.